80.3 FM. My name is Esther Wachiko, and here are the top stories. Niger tanker explosion, death toll rises to 98, shops burnt. PDP accuses APC of tragic death of Nigerians in Suleja tanker explosion. Alleged ESCC officer's killer backtracks, denies being medical doctor, claims gun doesn't belong to father. And INEC opens up on why the upload of 2023 presidential elections results failed. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. We begin from stories outside the shores of Nigeria, where a parade of tech billionaires and key members of Abati joined President-elect Donald Trump as he kicked off his pre-inaugural celebrations with a church service this morning. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos, Meta boss Mark Zuckerberg, Apple leader Tim Cook, and Google chief Sundar Pichai were seen taking its prime seats at St. John's Church. Media tycoon Rupert Murdoch, FIFA President Gianni Infantino, and former UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson were also spotted at the church. Many of these executives were among the first business world critics of Trump during his first term, speaking out on issues such as climate change and immigration. Ahead of Trump entering office, Biden has issued preemptive pardons for several figures threatened with criminal prosecutions, including officers who testified over the Capitol riot. Meanwhile, Hamas military wing, the Qassam Brigade, released its propaganda video of 3 Israeli hostages being released on Sunday night after a striking ceasefire deal. Each of the 3 women were carrying the bag in footage released later on Sunday by the Israeli Defense Forces. A representative of one hostage's family disclosed to journalists that the bag held a release of certificates, a necklace, and phones, and said that Israel's internal security agency, the Shin Bet, had confiscated the materials. Israeli media reports that the photos depicted the women's time in captivity. Now, in a very tragic development, at least 7 people have been killed in a clash with soldiers very recently on duty at a mine in the central Ashanti region. According to the army, the Ghana Armed Forces said about 60 illegal miners armed with pump-action guns and other weapons had forced their way into the mine run by global giant AngloGold Ashanti and fired at the soldiers when they were intercepted. A representative of the miners denied that they had been armed. Angry residents poured onto the company's grounds following the killings, burning at least 3 vehicles and other equipment belonging to AngloGold Ashanti. President John Mahama has ordered investigations into the matter, saying anyone actually found to have acted unlawfully will be brought to justice. A statement from the presidency indicated that 8 people were actually killed. While right here in Nigeria, at least 98 people have been confirmed dead and 69 others injured following a petrol tanker explosion on Saturday in Gurara local government area of Niger State. The explosion occurred when a petrol tanker lost control and spilled its contents. The Director General of the Niger State Emergency Management Agency, Abdullahi Baba Ara, provided the updated casualty toll in a statement earlier on today, describing the incident as a devastating loss. According to Baba Ara, over 20 shops were destroyed during the incident. He said the explosion occurred on Saturday when a tanker conveying petrol crashed and another tanker was brought to transfer the contents. Also, VOP News learned that a crowd had gathered to scoop fuel before the tanker exploded, which caused widespread casualties. At least 80 people whose bodies were recovered after the incident were buried in a mass grave at Diko Primary Healthcare Center by officials and Gurara local government area. Also, other recovered bodies were retrieved by family members for burial. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had ordered the National Orientation Agency to commence comprehensive campaign on the dangers of scooping fuel from falling trucks. The latest incident highlights a continued trend of petrol tanker explosion-related deaths across the country. Also reacting, the People's Democratic Party has blamed the ruling All Progressives Congress for the recent tanker explosion in Niger State, which resulted in the death of several Nigerians and injury to others. The PDP in a statement today said the accident occurred due to the deplorable state of infrastructure and disorienting economic hardship occasioned by the gross neglect of the well-being of the citizens since the inception of the APC government. While commiserating with those affected by the incident and their families, the PDP added that the tragic accident is one of the scars of misgovernance by the APC. The PDP statement, which was signed by its National Publicity Secretary Debo Olugunaba, called for an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the incident which occurred at Diko Junction along Diko Majemina Road in Niger State on Saturday and urged the federal government to put measures in place to forestall a reoccurrence. Now, the Defense Headquarters announced today that troops from Operation Fansanyama successfully killed the son of terrorist leader Bello Turji and several of his fighters during a major clearance operation. The operation, which actually took place on January 17, targeted areas including Shinkafi, Kagara, Fakai, Moriki, Maiwa, and Chindo. The OP News learned that the troops also destroyed a logistic base used by the terrorists. In a very recent statement from the ongoing Director of Media Operations, Major General Edward Buba, it was revealed that Turji's son was killed in an attack on the Fakai high ground where the terrorists had set up camp. Turji himself was branded a coward for fleeing the area and abandoning both his son and his fighters during the battle. The DHQ highlighted that Turji had long taunted the military, even challenging them in December 2024 to confront him at his hideout after his associate Baka Wurgi was captured by troops. The military vowed to neutralize him in 2025. In addition to killing several terrorists, the operation also led to the rescue of numerous hostages who had been kidnapped by Turuji's group. Also, in a separate operation, troops targeted another notorious terrorist group led by Idi Malam in Zango, Kagara Forest. Now, a suspected internet fraudster accused of killing an Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC operative Halisu Shahabi during a raid in Oka, Anambra State, has withdrawn his earlier claim of being a medical doctor. Police sources confirmed very recently that the suspect Joshua Chukwebuze Ikechukwu, arrested on Saturday, provided inconsistent statements during interrogation on Sunday night. The Nigerian Medical Association in Anambra State on Monday also denied that the suspect is a medical doctor. In a statement, Dr. Obieli Ifeanyi, the State Secretary of the Nigerian Medical Association, refuted reports linking Ikechukwu to the medical profession, clarifying that he is not a registered member of the association. The NMA emphasized that Joshua Chukwebuze Ikechukwu is not a medical doctor, not even an academic doctor, as widely published by the media, though he deals on medical supplies and has been addressed as a doctor. Also, Joshua is not a staff and has already been debunked by the management of the Medical Association right here in Nigeria. The NMA added that no member could identify Ikechukwu as a colleague or member of the association. Police sources also revealed that the suspect admitted during questioning that he falsely claimed to be a doctor because people call him doctor. The suspect had recanted. He also told the police last night that he claimed he was a doctor because people called him doctor. One of the police sources recently disclosed the suspect's father, who initially claimed ownership of the gun and attempted to secure bail for his son, later refused to provide a written statement confirming his ownership. At first, the father, who rushed to the SCI, the State Criminal Investigation Department, to get him bail, claimed the gun belongs to him. But when the police told the father to put it in writing, he refused to do so. This was according to the address from the police sources disclosing the authentication of the claim of the supposed alleged doctor, while the EFCC officials actually came to raid his home. Now, the federal government of Nigeria and the government of Egypt have committed to collaborate and address the issues of food insecurity. Also, VOP News gathered that this was a highlight of a meeting between Nigeria's Ministry of Agriculture, also and Food Security and Egypt's Ministry of Agriculture on Saturday at the Nigeria-Egypt Business Forum. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, said the meeting between the two ministries centered on forging stronger agricultural ties to address shared challenges, including rapid population growth, food security, and climate change. He stated that the collaboration aligned with Nigeria's policy, which also prioritized sustainable development, economic transformation, and innovation. He also disclosed that agriculture remains a cornerstone of Nigeria's economy, supporting over 42 million farming households. At the meeting, the two ministries emphasized the need to improve yields, mechanization, and innovative practices to boost productivity and food security. Still on the world news at 6, the Independent National Electoral Commission has shed light on the technical glitch that prevented the upload of presidential election results on the INEC result viewing portal during the 2023 general elections. According to INEC, the issue was caused by an unanticipated system error that occurred while mapping presidential election results to participating polling units. The Commission said this error led to internal server errors which prevented the upload of results. The INEC explanation is contained in the report from the Commission's stakeholder engagements and retreats held between July 11 and August 5, 2023 to review the conduct of the general elections. Participants in these engagements included leaders of registered political parties, civil society organizations, resident electoral commissioners, administrative secretaries, security agencies under the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, including media executives. Copies of the report have been made available to the Senate and House of Representatives Committee on Electoral Matters. The report said, and I read, during this review, many stakeholders repeatedly sought explanation for the technical glitch that affected the upload of the 2023 presidential election results. During the review, details of the problem were provided by INEC's technical experts. In a nutshell, the challenge of uploading the presidential election results on the IRF portal after the presidential and National Assembly elections on February 25 of 2023 was unique. The report added that as voting ended across the country and polling began across the polling process of uploading the images of the result sheets of the election for the various constituencies around 4 p.m., the Commission began to receive reports that the upload of presidential election result sheets were failing. Following these reports, the Commission immediately engaged with its field officials for details to understand and trace the origin, source, scale, and magnitude of the problem across the result management ecosystem to devise appropriate solutions. In the troubleshooting process, it was established that there was no issue in uploading the polling unit result sheets of the Senate and House of Representative elections through the election result modules. However, there was a problem with uploading the presidential election results of the system. Attempts to upload the results were generating internal server errors, which refer to a significant impairment that usually originates from within an application due to problems relating to configuration, permissions, or failure to create or access application resources correctly. Further interrogation of the election result modules indicated that the system is encountering an unexpected configuration problem in mapping the presidential election results uploaded into the system to the participating polling units. So, due to the complex, sensitive, and critical nature of the systems and the real potential for malicious cyber attacks, the Commission immediately put in place several strict security and audit control measures to prevent any unfettered or elevated access to the result upload system. The result, or rather the report, also revealed that in the process of resolving the challenge, it was discovered that the back-end system of the IREV was able to query and detect the base states for uploading the polling unit result sheets based on the mapping of all senatorial district and federal constituency elections to the respective 36 states of the Federation and the FCT as established in the database structure deployed within the system. Also, in configuring and mapping the election results for the presidential and National Assembly elections, the Commission created 470 election types consisting of one presidential constituency covering the entire country, 109 senatorial districts and 360 federal constituencies. Each senatorial district and federal constituency election on the database was mapped to their respective states. However, the presidential election result is a single countrywide constituency and therefore does not belong to any one state. Consequently, while the uploads for the National Assembly results succeeded as the application was able to identify the respective state and build a folder hierarchy for the results organization process for the election, attempts to upload the presidential election results sheets, which does not belong to or mapped to any state on the database failed. Instead, it returned a HTTP server error response. The failure is attributable to the inability of the application to create and build a folder structure to organize the uploaded images of the result sheets of the presidential election. Having identified and established the source of the problem, the Commission quickly created and deployed hot fixes, which are software updates for fixing a bug or any vulnerability in a system. The deployed hot fixes eventually resolved the HTTP error on the system, and the first presidential election results sheet was successfully uploaded at 8:55 p.m. on the 25th of February 2023. After the problem with the upload was resolved, the Commission noticed a high volume of uploads on the queue. All results that were scanned but could not be uploaded due to the error were queued waiting to be automatically processed. Due to the large volume and high traffic from the queue, the system was running slower even though it tried to scale up automatically to handle the unanticipated heavy traffic. While the density of the traffic that slowed the upload was one issue, the requirement that the beaver's devices to be switched on and connected to the internet for the upload of results in the offline queue was another. However, some of the polling results had at the time left their polling units and the devices had either been switched off or were out of internet coverage. Switched off devices could not connect and upload the result sheets. End quote of some of the excerpts of the report. And now, during our news analysis segment, I actually have joined me via the telephone Elder Manford. He is a political, national and social affairs commentator. Elder Manford, good evening and thank you for joining me on the World News at 6.
Thank you for having me.
Elder Manford, I'm sure you just had me read out a comprehensive report. INEC had to submit to the National Assembly because Nigerians have not been comfortable with how the 2023 elections went. And obviously, an internal investigation and audit of everything that transpired during the election had to commence. A committee was set up to look into it because up till now, Nigerians are questioning the authenticity of the 2023 elections, which obviously has made a couple of Nigerians not accept President Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As of today, the Senate committee responsible for investigation has eventually opened up and they have disclosed all the details of that particular situation that occurred on the set date. How do you react to this with all of this explanation? Why now? Why not all this while? Why did it take so long in having to come through with all their investigation when Nigerians have supposedly moved on?
INEC is neither here nor there in the analysis or in the investigation. Whatsoever INEC is telling us now, everybody knows it's false. Because so many people were in the polling booth when they were uploading all the results. We were told then that the code to upload the presidential results was not there. So if INEC is telling us that there are glitches, why is it that there were no glitches in other ones that were uploaded? People that were in the polling booth then knew exactly what was happening. And we were asking questions then, how come others are uploaded? And the only the presidential own had glitches. So no matter whatsoever they see they want to tell us now, they can tell it to the madam because we know exactly that maybe then the thing was not going the way they planned. So that was why they upped the server. That is just it.
INEC is claiming that they did not switch off the server. They're saying that the presidential election result was unique. That for the state, for the National Assembly, sir, wait, hold on. Let's have things in proper context, because there was a reason why this report had to be disclosed now, and the question will always linger. Nigerians don't trust INEC as an institution whatsoever, and there are fears that something similar may occur in the 2027 general elections. A couple of persons will say that INEC is trying to clear its name. But it was important for a committee to be set up to investigate why precisely just the presidential election actually had issues. INEC is saying that for the National Assembly and House of Rep, everything had constituencies, and so there was a proper mapping structure. Each constituency is represented in each folder. So it was easy for stuff to be sent to each folder representing different constituencies across the 36 states of the Federation. But that it was different because the presidential election, everybody was sending results and uploading results at the same time, which according to him said it was an overload on the server, and there were complaints from field agents that they couldn't upload from their end. So when they checked the back end, they were seeing HTTP server error, and most of the results that were uploaded on the IREV were actually on queue. So when that happened, they had to look for a way to fix it, where they called hot fixes. But by the time all of that was done, it was already too late. They had to use the beavers to switch it off, to connect it to the internet. So people will say INEC de shalaye. So people feel talk say then go explain tire. But the matter of the situation is this: INEC couldn't rebrand itself during the off-season election. INEC couldn't rebrand itself in how the elections in Edo State took place. So how do Nigerians believe this supposed explanation?
Nigerians cannot believe INEC. Nigerians cannot believe INEC again because, to me, in my own view, they are biased all along. They cannot tell us that the same thing happened in Edo, the same thing happened in Ondo. Nobody can believe them again. But no matter the review, no matter the investigations INEC are doing, Nigerians have it in mind that all along INEC has compromised the election. INEC is sitting himself in the left to tell us that they were not prepared all along. While they were telling us all stories, they were telling us how they were prepared in Chatham House, how they would do this election, and it will be one of the best. So if they are shooting themselves in the leg now to tell us what happened, that means INEC was not prepared all along. They have compromised from the onset. So Nigerians cannot believe them. There is no story that they can tell us that we will believe them. We cannot believe them because we have been seeing subsequent elections, what INEC has been doing. INEC has not cleared his name. So whatsoever they are telling us, they are just only shooting themselves in the leg to tell the Nigerians that they were not prepared. That is just that.
All right. So the question now is, in INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakub say the court has said that he could actually go to prison for contempt of court. All the persons who were involved in election malfeasance, election malpractice, they ought to have been brought up. They ought to have commenced their prosecution. The court has asked INEC Chair to bring out these individuals who were involved, obviously, and let the proceeding commence. But we haven't seen anything up till now. So what would the court do? I mean, is there some authority somewhere that is telling Mahmoud Yakub that nothing will happen? Why they fear to parade these individuals, and why is it not in the press? Or do they believe that since Nigerians have moved on and no one is asking questions, Nigerians will easily forget and then things will just continue up until 2027?
You see, Mahmoud should be charged for contempt. That is just the truth. To show other INEC chairman that is going to come up, that Nigerians do not like cheating. That is just the truth. If Mahmoud is telling us all these stories now, why did he not indicate these stories before he started? So he should not tell us some of these stories that we know exactly. And we have read it. I am telling you that when they were voting, they told us in the polling booth that the code to upload the presidential election was not there with them, and that is the truth. Anybody that was in the queue with them knew what happened, that other ones were uploaded. Why is it that it's only that presidential election thing that was not uploaded? So if Mahmoud now is coming to bring stories, if they charge him for content, that is what he was supposed to say. He told it around to other INEC Chairman that will come on board. You know exactly that Nigerians are angry, and whatsoever he has done is going to still replicate it in 2027. That is the truth, because there is no trust in whatsoever he's telling the Nigerians.
All right, Elder Manford, let's look at the situation in Oka, Anambra State, where the supposed individual whose name is Ikechukwu killed or allegedly killed an EFCC operative who came for a midnight raid. Now, in the particular information at the first time that it was reeled out, there were claims that he was a doctor, all right, and the gun owned by his father, meaning that the gun is licensed. Also, he claimed that he asked them who they were and they refused to identify themselves. So he thought that they were robbers. You know how Anambra State is at this time. But what the EFCC is actually disclosing to us, said that this particular individual, whose name is Joshua Chukwuebueze Ikechukwu, who was arrested on Saturday, provided inconsistent statements during interrogation on Sunday night. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Medical Association in Anambra State has denied that the suspect is a medical doctor. The suspect eventually said that possibly because of the medical materials that he actually supplies, people call him doctor, and so he decided to go on with it. The NMA say he's not in their database. They know no person of that particular identity, and that please, the EFCC should stop referring to him as a medical doctor. So the question is, what happens to this individual? But does it also validate the modus operandi of the EFCC in conducting their operations, specifically at midnight?
It is a pity that those that have made the law are the ones that are breaking the law. Why is it that EFCC is going to somebody's house by 3 o'clock in the night? Yes, it's a pity that something has happened, but you know how Anambra is, how volatile that place is, that anybody, they can kidnap anybody, they can shoot anybody can come to your house. Naturally, what are they looking for in somebody's house by 3 o'clock in the night? They can, if they suspect he's still a suspect, they can invite him in the daytime or stay by his door by 6 o'clock. Somebody will come out. Why are they climbing his house? Why are they going to eating his house by 3 o'clock in the night? Anybody can think like that man that they call doctor, no matter he has said he's not a doctor. That why are you coming to my house by 3 o'clock in the night? They can invite him. They have the power to stay by anywhere, lay ambush on him, and get anybody that come out from the house, they enter his house. So why are they going by 3 o'clock? Anybody can be afraid by that time of the day that somebody is knocking you at your door. And what the man said, I was asking, nobody answered me. Anybody can be afraid by that time. So EFCC is wrong if we are to face whatsoever that is the truth. They are wrong by that time, notwithstanding that somebody is down already. So why are they going there by 3 o'clock? They can invite him, he's still a suspect, so he can come to the office. If he refuses, they can look for how to arrest him. After all, Yayabelo was how many months? They did not arrest him. So why are they climbing the man's house by that time? So it's a sorry thing that something has happened, but everybody should be watchful of his own security, because there is no security in Nigeria. That is what we feel.
All right, but now that Ikechukwu has contradicted his earlier assertion that the gun used in the incident was licensed to the father, and now claiming that it was provided by someone else, the issue is, are we going to see that this man may be sentenced to life imprisonment? Because it's a very dire situation at this time. Some persons were trying to tribalize the ordeal. A couple of persons too actually hailed Ikechukwu for what he did, because the EFCC chairman has actually warned that they should stop this midnight stint operation. He has actually told them to stop, but they haven't. A lot of Nigerians now decided to express and explain their own ordeals in the hands of EFCC. How sometimes during their raid, they steal certain items, go through their personal, folder on their phones, take advantage of whatever fund they've worked hard for, and at the end of the day, they are found out to not be guilty of whatever crime. So what is the process of investigation supposed to be like before you come to someone's house? Is the person not meant to be invited? Is there not a procedure? If some persons feel that the EFCC is worse than in their modus operandi than the Nigerian police.
They are worse to my own understanding because they were not supposed to do it. Notwithstanding what has happened, these people acted on self-defense. They acted on self-defense. So, it's a pity what has happened. Notwithstanding that those gun, as he said, is not his own. But there's nothing you can do. You can't blame him much because a lot of kidnappings are happening in Anambra State. It's just a pity that what happened has happened. He acted in self-defense. No matter how he will face, if the gun is not his own, let the Lord take his part. But let them not go and let it not be with something because he shot an EFCC person. But why are they in his house by that time? They have all authorities to invite him in the daytime, in the afternoon, or any time. So why are they going by 3 o'clock in the night? Why are the lawmakers breaking the law? That is the question. Why are they breaking the law? The law is they have made a law and said they should not go at night again. Why are they going at night? Those are the questions. Notwithstanding somebody is on ground. Why are they going at night? Is there no offense that they themselves have committed? They have committed offense too. Who are done by that time of the day because they're supposed to know what Nigeria is like now, that everybody is afraid of its life. So we don't know whether they come to kidnap him. Let's assume that it was the other way around. They might tag him as another thing since they have said he's a fraudster. They can label him another thing, and that is how everybody will believe them. So if the pity has happened, but let justice take its course. For him not to have any gun, but he has gun to shoot. Well, I don't know.
All right.
Let take its course for that.
Oh yeah, it's already in court. Questionings are ongoing. Interrogation is ongoing. Like you said, it's quite unfortunate what happened. A couple of persons would say Ikechukwu is in deep hot soup with what transpired and the statement he had given earlier, which obviously is in contradiction to what he's saying now. Elder Manford, let's head on to a controversial personality, as we know, and that is the FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. Very recently, Nyesom Wike called out a major widely watched television channel, and this time around, he was actually speaking on the fact that interpretation of the law should be accurate by media houses. He actually addressed a reference by Arise. Okay, I'm sorry for actually calling the outlet. This particular television station's correspondent on the Supreme Court's ruling on the FCT's status as a state. So, Nyesom Wike is clarifying that the Supreme Court's interpretation pertained specifically to elections and did not officially designate the FCT as a state. So this is what he says. I want to read out his quote. That is why in your station you carry wrong stories. He further explained that what the Supreme Court interpreted as FCT having the status of a state is proven by elections. They have the status in elections. Wike emphasized that the FCT is not a member of the Federation Account Allocation Committee and does not receive allocations like states do. But he noted that because FCT is not a state, that is why it is not a member of FAC. It does not collect from the Federation account. We only take from what the federal government takes, which is 1%. That's basically what Nyesom Wike was actually describing in the supposed top anchor persons on their morning program. He actually accused Reuben Abati for singling him out during a presidential media chat with the president. So the question now is this: with this particular statement being made, and the fact that a lot of Nigerians supposedly believe that the system at which things operate in the country may not necessarily, be what a lot of Nigerians interpret it to be, what then happens? Because when we look at what transpired when the FCT minister became the minister, when he was appointed as a minister, there were talks that things ought to have been done in a certain way that supposedly gives ambience to the, well, I say to the authenticity of what information is being reeled out. And it's quite unfortunate because a lot of persons did not understand the due process as it entails. But why call out this particular media channel? You know, why call out this media channel? Why make it seem like that particular media channel is a proponent for false information? Elder Manford, are you there with me, or we've lost connection with you? All right, let me try to call you back. It's very important for you to give us a clarification on this particular information. All right, Elder is back online with us. Elder, you remember I was talking about Wike calling out Reuben Abati on his on the program he anchors every morning, and he actually categorized the television station as a television station that supposedly rules out false information. Do you think that was the right thing to do in a media chat with select journalists there?
You see, it's a pity that those that are in our hem of affairs have started changing Nigerian constitution to what they want. Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
They have started changing Nigerian constitution to what they want. And the way they are doing it, they want to do it the way it will favor them. Not what the constitution has said, what the Supreme Court has said. They don't want it that way. It's how it will favor them on whatsoever behavioral attitude they want to tell Nigeria. That is why you see Minister Wike will be doing what he is doing. He should know exactly that one of the days, this thing he wants to change will backfire to him. One of the days. Because the constitution is very, very clear in whatsoever they have stated in Nigeria. But you see actors that will come on the scene and they will begin to try to rigmarole what is not right, what has not been done, what has been an originated thing in Nigeria. You see them changing it the way it will favor them so that they can continue to stay in the office. FCT has all along been there before Minister Wike came. But the way he's trying to govern Nigeria is very good because it's acting more than the president, sir.
What do you mean by govern Nigeria? Govern Nigeria in what sense? He's the FCT minister, not Nigeria.
What he's making. Because you cannot tell us if the Supreme Court has ruled and people hear what they have ruled and understand it very, very clear.
No, but his issue is the fact that the anchor accused him of land grabbing instead of posing a question. He said Reuben accused him instead of posing a question. It is that accusation he's actually singling out Reuben for. He said that was a presidential media chat.
But
this was when Reuben had a chat. Well,
what Reuben said, is it not true?
No,
when you demolish people's land, you use it, take it, and give it to your cronies. Is it not true?
He's saying that Reuben made an allegation, and as an anchor person, you ought to be, unbiased, objective in your questioning, possibly use alleged or something, and that why Reuben had to single him out during the presidential media chat. So he made condescending statements in response to that. For Wike, he says it is so unfortunate that a first-class graduate would pick out a single minister not to ask a question, but to accuse him of land grabbing. He claimed that the anchor was embarrassed after President Tinubu addressed the issue. So exactly in what way did Reuben Abati look embarrassed? Is it because the president complimented the FCT minister? Is that what he means by Reuben Abati being
Eyes
embarrassed.
have seen what Minister Wike is doing. They are seeing him. You cannot demolish somebody's house, take somebody's land, you said it's government owned, and give it to your friends. Because Minister Wike said that if he did not give it to his friends, who will he give it to? So is it not land grabbing? What Reuben said, is it lie? Is it not true? Why would they not single him? Is he the only minister that have been in FCT? What Reuben said is the truth, and the like minds that look at him very, very critically, look at him very well, know exactly that is what he's saying. And he has said if he gives it to his friends, who will he give it if it's not his friend? He said it. That is what he said. It's not me that said it. That is what minister said. So if he single-handedly brought out to tell him that what you are doing is not good, it is not good in Nigeria. Let every minister come and begin to share Nigerian property to his friends. Is that the way to go? It's not the way to go. So what Minister Wike is doing is wrong. It's wrong, very, very wrong. Notwithstanding that he has the backing, but we know exactly it's wrong. What he's doing is wrong.
All right, Elder Manford, thank you so much for actually having to give us your own perspective to the questions posed at you. We sincerely do appreciate your input.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And to wrap up the world news at 6, here again are the top stories. You heard that Niger tanker explosion, death toll rises to 98, 20 shops burned. PDP accuses APC of tragic death of Nigerians in Suleja tanker explosion. Alleged EFCC officer's killer backtracks, denies being medical doctor, claims gun doesn't belong to father. And INEC opens up on why the upload of 2023 presidential election results failed. That's a wrap on the world news at 6. My name is Esther Mwachuku. Good evening and thank you for listening.